Hey YouTube, it's your boy Danny, and it's pretty early in the morning. I guess I just wanted to get this recorded out of the way and get this out because I wanted to talk about Super Poly, and I put in the discussion board something about the Super Poly situation, and this deck can utilize Super Poly quite well, and can utilize two Super Polys quite well, but I choose not to. I choose just to play one, and I'm gonna explain why. And you may be thinking, "Oh, Salamangreat again? Like, what's going on? Why is he playing two Salamangreat decks?" Well, this is my anti-meta stun Salamangreat deck. It's very fun. It's still budget. It's kind of budget. It's got some cards in it that are kind of hard to find right now. But if you got them, you got them. If you don't, you don't. Smoke them if you got them. It's a blowout deck. It's made to make your opponent. It's one of those decks that's made to make your opponent flip one card. Like, you flip one card, and then your opponent goes, "Ah, well, I got a scoop." And I know a lot of people don't like decks like that, but that's just the nature of the game. That's just the nature of Yu-Gi-Oh! How things are. I'll be explaining some of the cards again. Just a little bit. We have 3 play starters. Gazelle. The lineup of Salamangreats really hasn't changed too much. We have 3 Gazelle. Gazelle is normal summoned, and then you can send one, and then if one is sent, let me see here. If a monster is sent to the graveyard except Salamangreat Gazelle, you can special summon it from the hand. So that's a lot of synergy with the entire deck. I'm only playing 2 spinnies. This deck doesn't really need to clog up on spinnies. You have enough consistency. This deck thrives on consistency, and thrives on its own engine. It is its own engine. It's crazy. I haven't seen a deck this consistent since Necros, and that's what I love about it. I remember before I was saying in my last video that I don't really like the deck. Well, since testing, I like the deck, and I really like playing it. It's fun. It's got a lot of niche little things about it that it does. So Spinny can discard itself, target a monster, gains 500, can special summon itself. If not, then use another monster's effect to summon it. I'm only playing 2 Foxies. This one is controversial. Foxy was my Twin Twisters was my way of getting rid of back row. But I think 2 works just fine. You excavate top 3, find a Salamangreat card in there, and you choose one to shuffle the rest back. If it's in the graveyard, pop a card and send one Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand, hand to the graveyard, and special summon it. So there's some really great synergy there. My 1-ofs are still the same. I wouldn't change these 1-ofs. I really do believe that these are the correct ratios of 1-ofs to play. Foul combos well with Falco. Captain Falcon. Um, Wolvie is great recursion, really great recursion. He's great defense, making it so that the monster can't be destroyed by card effect or battle. Jack Jaguar is needed, is necessary for combos. If they banish your Jack Jaguar, you have other plays, but in the meantime, you don't want that to happen. You want your Jack Jaguar. So don't think it's the end of the world if it gets banished. Foul when it's normal summoned. Foul when you normal summon a monster, you can special summon it, and then target a card on the field that's set, and then that card can't be used for the rest of the duel, I believe. Quote me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong, but whatever. And then Falco, if you have a Salamangreat card such as Circle or Fusion of Fire in the graveyard, you can set it and then bounce like Foul, and then special summon Falco to the zone that Falco was in. So it's great synergy. The deck itself has great synergy with itself. There's some decks that want to fight themselves that just don't know what they want. Up next is Lady Debug. You can only play one, sadly. I still kick myself for saying that this wasn't a good card. Lady Debug is a good card. It's a great card. It's a combo starter. It's an ignition starter. It is the keys of the car. God damn it. Up next, I have this guy that at first I thought it was a secret tech, but it's actually not. It's actually played widely in Salamangreat decks. But still, nonetheless, I digress. You special summon it to a zone that a monster points to, triggering that monster's effect, or not. You know, if that monster has an effect. And then if things get hairy, Snipe, whatever, is giving you trouble with this guy by tributing him or destroying him, whatever. This time around I'm playing 2 Psychic Trackers. I wanted to play another one. I wanted to play a third, but 2 is just fine. 2 works well. It's a really good card, and this card I believe is the card that replaces Spinny. Because you want to make Mirage Stalio as quick as possible to summon that other monster from deck. And sorry if I'm congested. Texas weather, get at us. Anyway, this is the card that will help save you and help get you into Mirage Stalio. And it's a really cool card because I haven't seen a card with an effect like that that's just kind of like, hey, special summon me for nothing. I haven't seen something like that since Reborn Tengu, you know? Or like, yeah, like something like that's crazy. Up next is my hand trap lineup. This time it's 2 Effect Veilers, it's 2 Ghost Ogres, and 3 Ash Blossoms. Not much to say about that. The Ash Blossoms came with the deck. Play them, love them, learn them. The Ghost Ogres are not that expensive anymore, so people should stop complaining about it. The Effect Veilers are in there to be cheeky, to catch people off guard, because not a lot of people are expecting you to be playing Effect Veiler anymore. Like, it is an alternative to Infinite Impermanence, whatever the name of the card is. It's a cheaper alternative. It's a cheaper way to get that card out. But it's whatever. I still don't really know if I like Valor in this deck. I would much rather play Ghost Girl. Up next, I have 3 Salamangreat Circles. It's Rhoda, and a quick defensive play against effects on your Salamangreat Link monsters. You should always play 3 of this. You should always have 3 of this at all times. You want to see it. You want to see it multiple times. It's really good. Up next, my 2 1-ofs Salamangreat cards are Salamangreat Sanctuary and Will of the Salamangreat. We both know what these cards do. They let us Reincarnation Link Summon. Salamangreat Sanctuary has the effect where you can make your monster 0, and then you can gain life points equal to that monster's attack points. Then Will of the Salamangreat lets you target 1, and then that was Reincarnation Link summoned, and then special summon monsters up to the number of the Link rating. That's wild, all of its own. Both of those are wild, all of their own. This deck is just wild. I don't know what I'm talking about. My next 2 cards are 1 Super Poly and 1 Fusion of Fate. So this is where you're asking yourself, Daniel, Super Poly is at 2. What are you doing? And I'm gonna tell you, Super Poly should have never gotten unbanned. It should have never gotten unbanned at all from the beginning. And now that it's at 2, it shouldn't be running around the way that it's gonna be. Fusion decks are gonna run rampant. I believe Cyber Dragons are gonna have a field day with it. Salamangreats are gonna have a field day with it. So I'm playing it as a stun in anti-meta for the Salamangreats. Remember how in my last video I said that I was playing Fusion of Fire as an FU? Well, I'm playing Super Poly as a bigger FU. If I could describe it as guns, because I like guns, you know. Texas, get at me. Salamangreat, the Will of Fire is a handgun, and Super Poly is a shotgun. Super Poly has that quick play, and that's nothing to mess around with. That's some very evil stuff there. I think I'm gonna try this ratio out. I think I'm gonna try this ratio out a lot in testing. I'm gonna see how well how well 1 Super Poly does and how 1 Fusion of Fire does, and we'll see where it goes from there. Remember, guys, Super Poly is not your friend. Up next, I have 2 Anti-Spell Fragrance. This deck isn't hurt by Anti-Spell. All of your cards can be set, and this deck can play on an extra turn basis because it has so much synergy with itself that it just summons its own monsters by its own effects. You don't need cards like Ritual Spells, you don't need cards like Fusion Spells, you don't need rank up magics, you don't need none of that. You don't need Signet cards. Even setting Super Poly isn't that bad, you know. And then not only that, to make things better, Salamangreat Circle is a quick play. So setting those isn't that bad. The anti-spell is in here for Endymion. Honestly, is like in here for Endymion. I'm not scared of Endymion. It's not my fear. But if it comes at me, I will be prepared. I play Imperial Order for the same reasonings. I'm not scared of Endymion, but it's so help me, if it comes at me, I will be prepared for it. This is also for Sky Strikers. I'm more... so I'm not scared of Endymion, but if I had to say how scared I am of Sky Strikers, it would be a lot less than Endymion. Because Pendulum Magicians are nothing to mess around with, and I would know. Up next, I have a Solemn family. Solemn Brigade, Solemn whatever you want to call them. I got the warning that I wanted. I placed 3 strikes, 1 judgment, 1 warning. People might say, oh, that's a little bit overkill. I'm saying no, it's not, because this is an anti-meta deck. This is an anti-meta stun deck. You want to stun your opponent as much as possible. You want to go first. You want to stop them before their plays can happen. There's not much to say about that. Judgment stops everything. Strike stops monster effects and monster summons, special summons. And warning stops all summons. Up next, I have 3 Goza match. I just don't want my friends having a good time. I don't want my... I'm not trying to be that friendly guy at locals who's like, hey, let's have a good time. I'm trying to be that guy at locals who's like, nah, I'm here to win. And you may be asking yourself again, like, does this even work? Does this deck work? Like, all those traps? Like, yes, it does. It really does. Up next is Different Dimension. This is one that I just learned about. Different Dimension Ground. It's a really interesting card. The only thing I'm really not prepared for are Thunder Dragons, but this deck has a good matchup against Thunder Dragons, I think. And Alter Guys, but I have cards in the sideboard for both Thunder Dragons and Alter Guys. But this card, basically you flip it while your opponent's making plays, and all cards that they're sending to the graveyard get banished instead. So this is a big FU to anything, BAs, Phantom Knights, Sky Strikers, to a lot of things. So there's that, and then finally we have Salamangreat Roar and Salamangreat Rage, 2 of my favorite cards. Roar is Infernity Barrier, Rage is Icarus Attack. You pop 1 monster, you pop 1 card. You pop 1 link monster, you pop multiple cards up to that link rating. You have a Salamangreat on board, anything, any Salamangreat, even Will, and even Sanctuary. You can stop anything. Basically, Judgment, Infernity Barrier. Good cards, good cards. So, again, in the extra deck, I gave away one of my secret techs. In the extra deck, we play Violet Chimera. Not for our own purposes, but for the purposes of screwing over our opponent. Of taking their Violet Chimera. And people are going to be scared to summon this now, but people are going to realize they're going to need to summon it. So it's going to be a stalemate of who's going to summon it first. Up next, I play 1 Baguska because it's the most anti-meta card that exists. I play 1 Abyss Dweller. I played 3 Mirage Stalios because I like to get my plays off. I played 1 Boral Load Dragon. If it was a Boral Sword, I'd be playing Boral Sword, but I sold all my Boral Swords. I played 3 Balinks. Balinks has an effect engraved to protect a cute little kitty cat. I played 2 Heatleo. I basically just played the 2 just so I can get its effect off with Mirage, with Reincarnation Summoning. Then I played 3 of this bad boy of Heatleo, not Heatleo, Sunlight Wolf, because I want to get Sunlight Wolf's effect off. So thank you for listening to me. Thank you for hearing me out. This is Remix 1.1. This is Anti-Meta Stun. We're gonna have different versions of this deck as it evolves with Darkness Neostorm. As cards come out with Darkness Neostorm, I'm gonna see what I can get out. I'm gonna do what I can. I'm gonna make this deck brutal, very brutal. I'm gonna do everything in my power to make it as FU as I can. So remember, guys, if you bought the structure deck, good. It's a budget. It is budget. It's very, very, very budget. Just remember, catch me on turn 2 and be careful, guys.